Hi guys, my name is Natalia Porsche and I am an attorney out of Biloxi, Mississippi. And I decided to make this video about a family law today. Specifically, I decided to speak about factors that the Chancery Court judge in Mississippi will take into consideration in adjudicating the custody for the minor child, right? For example, if you go for the divorce proceedings, and you will be applying for a custody, right? You will try to get a physical custody over the minor child or over the minor children. And you would like to know, so what are the factors, what is the law that the Chancery Court judge in Mississippi will apply in order to determine which party will get a physical custody over the minor child? So there are two different types of custody in Mississippi. There is a legal custody and there is a physical custody, right? So the legal custody, what is the legal custody? The legal custody is basically a right of the party to decide it's a decision-making power, right? It's a decision-making power of the parent to decide what school the child will go to, what medical care the child will get. So that is this is the legal custody. Physical custody is different. Physical custody means physical custody. It means which parent will be a custodian parent with whom the child will spend majority of time, right? So the parent who doesn't get physical custody will have visitation rights. Okay, so those factors that I will be discussing with you, they call Albright factors. And the reason why they call Albright factors is because there is a case, Albright versus Albright in Mississippi. So this is the case that the Chancery Court judges have been applying and will be applying in order to determine who will get the physical custody over the minor child. And the reason why I decided to make this video is because I think that in Mississippi and probably in different states also, I do not practice law in different states, although I'm licensed in New York also, but I do not practice law in New York at this time. I think it's a lot of people, we have a lot of people who are unrepresented. And why I know this is because I get some clients, they come to me when they were pro se. Pro se means unrepresented. They went to court by themselves without an attorney, without legal representation, and they messed up their case. I'll be honest with you, a lot of people, they just don't know the law, they don't know how to apply the law. They will go to court without legal representation, and yes, at the end it would not be so good. So that's the reason why I made this video for educational purposes only. It's not be treated as an attorney's advice or attorney-client communication. Okay, so guys, this is only for educational purposes, and the reason why I made this video is because I think it will be very helpful even if you retain an attorney and you know that you will have a trial regarding the physical custody, regarding the physical custody of the child, if you want to get a physical custody of the child. And the factors, if you know these factors, you will come to your attorney and you will be like, hey, I already know this, I'm ready for the case, because I work on those factors, I gathered my evidence, and you would not believe how helpful this will be to your attorney. And also you can save yourself money, right? So because when attorney works on your case, you will receive invoice, attorney bills. So you will save yourself some money, so attorney doesn't have to bill for this. And also, for example, you can also get a pro bono representation, right? If one is available to you in your area. So it's important to know the law. It's important to have a legal representation. Even if you can get a pro bono legal representation, will be very helpful when you go for the divorce and when you apply for a physical custody of the minor child or a minor children. So I will try not to make this video very long because I know that YouTube does not like long videos, and also I do not want to get into the depth of these factors. It's very time consuming. It's a lot of them, and I think I'm just gonna just kind of tell you the factors and how what are they, and the application of those factors, how the Chancery Court judge will apply those factors in Mississippi. But again, guys, each case is different. You have different judges. From my practice, I know that one judge might, favor this factor, another judge will favor another factor. So again, guys, you need to know, your judge. You just have to know. The most important is when you go in, you have to have a legal representation. So that you don't lose the custody because you're unrepresented. It's very difficult to argue your case when you don't know the law. Okay, so let's go through those through the factors, through Albright factors. I have my little outline here, which can help me. So the first Albright factors that the Chancery Court judge in Mississippi will apply is the age, health, and the sex of the children. Okay, so this is one factor, but really we have three factors here. So age, health, and sex of the children. Okay, for example, the Chancery Court judge in Mississippi will look at the gender of the child. Okay, he or she will look at the health of the child, and also the judge will consider the age of the child. In Mississippi, if the child is over a certain age, the child has a right to make parental selection. The child has a right to file, for example, an affidavit with court and say, or come to testify to court and say, hey, I want to be with my mom, or I want to be with my dad, or I want to be with this party, or I want to be with this partner. Okay, so so after a certain age, when the child in Mississippi turns certain age, he or she has a right to make the parental selection. Although this is not a main factor again, right? But this is a factor that the Chancery Court judge must take into consideration when the child reaches a certain age. Also, for example, if the child suffers from some kind of medical condition, and let's say one of the parties, one of the parent, the mom or dad, one of the parent or the partner is has a medical degree of some sort, right? So this parent can help this child right away. Let's say the child has diabetes and the parent is a nurse, right? So this parent can certainly help the child right away. So the child will take this, the court will take this into consideration. The Chancery Court judge will take this into consideration in adjudicating the custody, right? So this factor will go in favor of the parent, right, who can help the child if the child has some kind of medical condition and the parent is a medical provider. Okay, next, determination, second factor is determination of the parent who had the continue of a care. Okay, let's say we have two parents who are going through the divorce, and mom was staying at home mom, and dad was working all the time. So guess what? Who had the continued care of the child? That would be mom, right? Because mom was staying at home mom. So this is also the factor that the Chancery Court judge will take into consideration in the state of Mississippi. Again, guys, this is the state of Mississippi. This does not apply to any kind of other states. Okay. So next, the third factor is parenting skills. Okay, so it's a skill of a parent. So what kind of parent is this party, right? What kind of parent is mom? What kind of parent is dad? And that this factor, the judge will probably take into consideration whether these two people, mom and dad, they have any other kind of skills, parental skills. Did they complete a skills, parental classes, let's say? Do they have skills? Do they have other children? What the custodian parent of other children? Okay, this all evidence will be taken into consideration deciding this factor, parenting skill factor. Factor number 4 is willingness to provide primary child care, right? The Chancery Court judge will look at the willingness, intent of the parties to provide a future care for this child. And guys, based on my practice, this factor in most of the cases, it's a neutral factor, because both parents, they dearly love their kids. So both of the parents, they want to take care of the children of the child, or a child. So obviously, if this case is going to trial, therefore logically this factor likely will be neutral, because it's intent of both parties that they want to have a custody over this child or over this minor children. Okay, next factor, factor number 5, employment of parents and responsibilities. Okay, so the Chancery Court judge will look at the employment of both parents. Let's say mom works nights at the hospital, she's a nurse, she doesn't work days, and dad works days. So obviously, the responsibility factor will favor dad. Why? Because he works days and mom works night. So dad can take care of the children, because he is, he can stay home at night, right? He can provide a continuum care. Now, employment. So let's say if one party is employed, another party is unemployed, of course, the employment factor will favor the party who is employed. Okay, so this is factor number 5, employment of parents and responsibilities. So you guys, if you are getting ready for trial, and you can sit down, you can write every factor, and you can write the evidence, or the factors that will go towards each of these factors, your favorable factors, the factors that you will favor your case, the factors that you can use to win your case. Okay, so next factor is the factor number 6, and it is physical and mental health, age, and moral fitness of the parents. Okay, so the first factor, as you recall, was the age, health of the child, right? So, but this factor, factor number 6, is physical and mental health, age, and moral fitness of the parents. So the Chancery Court judge will look at the parents, not at the child this time, right? The Chancery Court judge will look at the physical health of each parent, mental health of each parent, and the age and moral fitness of the parent. Let's say if we have one of the parent who has extensive history of DUIs, right? Who does drugs, illegal drugs. So this, of course, will go against that parent, because moral fitness of the parties is one of the factors that the judge will take into consideration in adjudicating the custody, right? Which party will get a custody. Also, if let's say we have one of the parents who has a substantial history of mental health, okay, so this also will be a factor that the Chancery Court judge will take into consideration in adjudicating the custody. So again, factor number 6, physical and mental health, age, and moral fitness of the parents. Again, guys, if you're getting ready to for a trial, you're getting ready for your court, you can sit down, you can write down those factors, and each factor that favors you, each factor that favors your case, why you can convince the chancellor in Mississippi that you should get the physical custody over the minor child or over the minor children. Factor number 7 is emotional ties of parent and child and stability of home environment. Let's say we have one of the parents, right, who has been moving every 6 months. right? That goes towards stability of home environment. So this parent does not have stability. This parent cannot provide home stability for this minor child or minor children in order to provide them a proper parental care, right? Be a proper custodian. So this factor will go against that parent who moves every 6 months, right? Let's say who moves, who doesn't have a home to live, not just moves, but a home to live, stable environment. Let's say a home where we have electricity, where there is a running water, the home, the livable home, right? So this is the factor that the judge will take into consideration, the home environment. Now, emotional ties of parent and the child. Let's say if the parent doesn't want to see the child, if the child doesn't want to see a parent, right? So this will go towards emotional ties of parent and the child factor. So that also will be taken into consideration in adjudicating a custody, right? So let's say, moving on, we go to factor number 8, the home, school, and community record of the children, right? Also, the home, the chancery court judge will look at your home, where you live, how many bedrooms you have, how many kids you have, what are the gender of the children, like boy 12 years old and girl 13 years old obviously cannot stay in one room. I don't think this is healthy. Well, we can make an argument, we can make different arguments, but this also is the factor, right? So you will, if you want to win your case, I would suggest you take pictures of your home, right? And a suitable home, and you can show to the chancellor. You can say, hey judge, this is where I live, this is where my kids are staying, or a kid is staying, right? This is a clean, nice environment for the child to be. Now, school record, you can get the school record of your child or your children. Let's say if the child is in your custody, let's see what kind of grades this child is receiving. Right? Is he an A student? Is he a B student? Is he a C student? And how many absences did this child have for the past 6 months? Right? This factor also will be taken into consideration by Chancery Court judge in Mississippi in adjudicating physical custody. Now, community record. Community record is when, for example, you take your kid to soccer practice, to a football practice, any kind of recreational activities. This is all community record. You take your child to school, to church. There are Bible studies. So this also a record, a community record. Like what kind of activities do you participate? Extracurriculum activities do you participate with your child, right? Participation in community activities. That's what it is. Okay, so factor number 9, preference of the child at an age sufficient to express a preference by law. Again, we already talked about this factor, the age, right? The age of the child. So after a certain age in Mississippi, the child can express preference with whom he would like to stay majority of the time, with mom, with dad, with which party he would like to stay majority of the time, right? So also your attorney can file the affidavit of parental selection. This can be helpful, or the child can testify in court. Again, guys, remember that a lot of chancellors, when the child is below a certain age, the chancellor will not take that testimony of the child, but it depends. It's all depends. Now, and factor number 10 is other factors relevant to child custody. Okay, for example, any other factor that you can come up with that can help you, right? Any factor. So those are the factors that the Chancery Court judge will take into consideration, in adjudicating physical custody. Who will get physical custody? Right, and it also connected to modification, right? Modification factors. If, for example, one of the parent will file, let's say one of the parent got a custody of the child after the divorce, and later, 5 years later, another parent will file a motion for modification. And I'm not going to speak here about modification law, like what law Chancery Court judge in Mississippi will apply in order to decide whether, of course, it's the law's best interest of the child. We all know that. However, there is a certain law where the custody can be modified, right? So in this video I'm not speaking about this, but I might make another video if you are interested in this. However, let's go briefly through these factors again. So these factors also the judge will take into consideration in deciding, when the judge already decides that the custody should be modified because it's in the best interest of the child. However, so the judge will apply again this Albright factors, right? Albright factors that determine which parent should have primary custody, primary physical custody, right? Okay, so again, let's go for them briefly, guys. If you would like to make notes, make notes. So factor number 1, age, health, and sex of the children. Factor number 2, determination of the parent who had the continuity of care. Factor number 3, parenting skills. Factor number 4, willingness to provide primary child care. Factor number 5, employment of parents and responsibilities. Factor number 6, physical and mental health, age, and moral fitness of the parents. Factor number 7, emotional ties of parent and child and stability of home environment. Factor number 8, the home, school, and community record of the children. Factor number 9, preference of the child at an age sufficient to express a preference by law. Factor number 10, other factors relevant to child custody. Okay, so those are the factors that the Chancery Court judge will take into consideration in order to adjudicate the primary child custody. Who gets the primary child custody? Which party? Which parent? So this is only the basic things. If you have any question about this video, guys, or if you would like to set up an appointment with me again, you can call my office. It's 228-229-7500. The phone number is down below. Again, this is not an attorney's advice. This is just a general information for your help. But if you have a possibility to hire an attorney, you have a court date coming up, hire a lawyer or apply for pro bono representation. But make sure you will secure yourself legal representation so when you go to court, you are ready to fight your case. Again, my name was Natalia Porsche. If you like this video, subscribe to my channel, put thumbs up. Thank you for watching.